Hey guys, welcome to FMD Construction. I'm Rain, and today we're going to review the KABOLITE K966. It's a hydraulic RC wheel loader. It's about 1/16 scale. So, as you may already know, I'm a little bit picky when it comes to my RC equipment. It's important to me that at least it functions the way it should be, that it's able to run and do the things you would expect of a life-size machine, pretty much. Of course, you have to accept certain compromises at this scale, but yeah, if it can't do the work, it's not the machine for me. So, I've had this machine for a few weeks, and I've taken my time before making this review in order to make sure that the machine is the way it should be, and that I have a pretty thorough opinion on whether or not it's a good machine and what the issues are. So stay tuned, and hopefully by the end of this review you'll have a pretty good idea whether or not it is the machine for you, and if it's worth getting at all. So, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the review. So, to start off, this machine, it's got beautiful details, lots of little detail work like ladders and handrails and warning stickers, and it seems pretty realistic looking. It's got an interior, the doors don't open, but I'm sure you can remove the cab if you want to put a figure in it, and those of you interested in that can probably cut open the door and fit a hinge or something. The tires on the machine are really good. They are stiff enough in the sidewalls to keep their shape, so you don't seem bothered by any weight or pressure at all. The machine seems very stable, but at the same time the tires are soft enough to give you a pretty good grip on just about any surface. We tried this machine outside a lot, in the snow, on the ice, on slick asphalt around the workshop, and plugged it around in a bit of gravel and grass, and it seems to get around pretty well, so no worries there. The machine comes with a 7,500 milliamp lithium battery, the same sort of battery that comes with most of the KABOLITE and Huina machines. It seems to give decent runtime. I haven't checked to see exactly how long, but plenty enough to have a good playtime, and it charges up fast enough. It comes with a balanced charger as well. The machine also comes with a FlySky FSI6S remote control, which is pretty standard. Most machines come with that as a budget option, and of course some of the high-end machines you can get the Paladin instead, but it's a well-known, pretty solid remote. So this machine, it also has the sound kit from the factory, and I gotta say it's pretty decent. Because of that, you have to start the machine before you can move it forwards and backwards, using the left slider here. That starts the engine, and you can operate it as normal after that. There's also lights. While they definitely add a bit of detail, they aren't very useful in low light conditions. They're fairly weak, but they definitely add that little extra detail to the machine. So it's got a stiff front axle as expected, and the rear axle has pretty decent articulation. So it doesn't have any issues keeping all wheels on the ground, giving you traction in any normal sort of circumstance. Both of the axles are powered from a central gearbox with drive shafts. The machine has a 2-speed gearbox, so at the lower setting, at the lower gear, it's got plenty of power to push around snow or dirt, get into that pile, and basically make the wheels spin. And at the high speed, it's more than fast enough to get around in any sort of normal environment. There's also a differential locker, and well, it doesn't, on my machine at least, it doesn't seem to engage it 100%. It definitely reduces the offset between the right and left side of the axle, and gives it that extra pulling power, pretty much. Keeps one wheel from spinning while the other is standing still. So yeah, without that, it's definitely got an open axle or an open diff. The hydraulics, they seem strong enough to deal with pretty much simultaneous movement and different functions and more or less whatever you want it to do. I'm not sure if you could power any extras off of it, but I haven't felt it lacking in any way so far. The pump does make some noise. It's got a very distinct sound, but it seems to work fine. I have heard others have issues with these machines, having leaks on the cylinders and that sort of thing, probably bad O-rings, etc. I haven't had any issues on this machine. It's worked well straight out the box, so no complaints on that. The articulating turn is hydraulic, and well, it's a little bit slow to my taste. It's fast enough, but it's not an issue for me. So, on the negative side, run-up functions do occasionally seem to freeze up, and sometimes the controller doesn't respond the way you expect it to. Most likely this is caused by the sound kit, and definitely something to consider. So far it hasn't been a big issue though, and it seems to right itself just by running a different function and then returning to whatever you were trying to do, that sort of thing. The gearbox does sometimes seem to become unengaged. Standing still, changing back and forth between high and low seems to solve this issue though. It's not something that happens often, but it does occasionally seem to happen. The third and the biggest negative, in my opinion, is the bucket tilting ramp and its rather limited range of movement. Basically, this means that you can't empty the bucket properly without lifting the arms all the way up. So it's not the worst problem in the world, but it definitely makes emptying the bucket at a controlled height an issue, and depending on your plans and needs, it might not fit what you want it to do. You might not be able to run certain accessories the way you want, and operating techniques might be harder to pull off, pretty much, yeah. So, as mentioned, I got this machine from Toucan Hobbies, and while I didn't promise them I'd brag about the machine or their services, the experience was great. I did tell them I'd do a review, and I mentioned their name. So they even sent me this shirt to wear, which, since I'm really happy about everything, I'm definitely wearing this for the end of this review. Yeah, Toucan Hobbies, they were great to deal with. Communication was very nice, easy. They sent me a video of the machine before they shipped it off, and they've been sort of asking me afterwards to check on everything, see that I'm happy, and yeah, definitely whatever setup they did was great, and like I've said, there was absolutely nothing to complain about. So definitely, if you're after this machine or any other machine, I can highly recommend reaching out to Toucan Hobbies, and yeah, they were great to deal with. So thumbs up, and thank you Toucan Hobbies for helping out the community, bringing us cool machines. So, conclusion time. Should you buy this machine? Well, if the size and scale is right for your setup, then definitely I can fully recommend it, as long as the negatives aren't deal breakers for you. So for me, I wanted a machine that was compact enough to run around my site indoors and pretty much do all the little odd jobs I expect from the wheel loader, but not necessarily be a pure loading quarry mine site machine. So on the other hand, if your goal is to move a lot of dirt, load a ton of trucks, that sort of stuff in a short amount of time, then maybe you would have more fun with a bigger machine. This is a fairly compact wheel loader. It doesn't have the greatest height range, so definitely not the optimal machine for a big site with lots of 114 trucks, where the aim is first and foremost to load trucks from a pile. If that's what you're after, I would definitely recommend looking at some of the bigger options out there in 114 and 112 scale. While this machine is powerful enough for its size, it's a small machine, and in a 114 environment it's better suited as a sort of multi-role service on the road machine, rather than being a 20 plus ton quarry mine site loading machine. So you wouldn't find this thing in a quarry or a tunnel in real life. So yeah, if you use it for what it's intended to do, I'm sure you'll be happy with it. But if you want something that's efficient at moving a ton of dirt, then get something bigger. So there you have it. Hopefully I've answered all of your questions and helped you decide if this is the machine for you or not. So again, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review, and yeah, catch you all later.